Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Anal from Great Millstone, Borderland Saints of El Paso, Texas. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all honor and all praise unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Also, double honors to the head apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety to all sincere Akim. Keep believing, keep teaching, and keep preaching, whether they hear or whether they forbear. And we've been going into our lesson today, starting out in Jeremiah. And we're going to start off at the Jeremiah 49:7. All right, and go into a little bit of prophecy based on things we see happening. Hopefully this lesson will be of great value to the hopeful elect, okay? Because the Lord told us to go out and preach the gospel, told us to give warnings to the Israelites and to feed his sheep. Who are his sheep? The Israelites. All right, so we're going to do that. Thankfully, the Lord has given us a little lesson here, to go on so we can do this great work that the Lord has told us to do in honor of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. All right. So we're thanking the Lord, Yahweh, all right, for his son, for that grace that he's given us. And we don't want to take it in vain. So we want to stay busy doing the work of the Lord, all right, to show our appreciation to the Most High, Yahweh, for giving his son, all right, giving his son for us to be a bridge, to reconcile us back to him, all right, back to our Father, Yahweh. Certainly when Adam and Eve sinned, a gulf was created by Adam and Eve sinning, all right, so that created a gulf between Yahweh and man. All right. But he gave his son in these last days so that we could be reconciled back to him. So we're thanking Yahweh for that. All right. And we're his humble servants who just want to please our Father. Okay. We're the bride of Yahweh. All right. Yahweh Shai, Rikah Kodash. All right. So we're the Lord's bride, and we want to make sure that we're not committing adultery. All right, we want the Lord to know that we know who we are, and also that we want to be servants to the Most High, not to Esau and to the devil, to the spirit of Satan, you see. So we ask the Lord to forgive us for our evil and for our wicked ways, okay? See, so we're always in prayer and asking the Lord to strengthen us. So, and we're watching the prophecies because the Lord told us to watch these prophecies and give the sheep a warning so that they would not be taken by the wolves out there. All right. So we're going to go into that a little bit here in Jeremiah 49:7. And it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the Dan. For I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. So we're in that time now where the Lord's starting to visit us, okay? The Edomites who are doing wickedly, we're living in the land where they are, okay? The Israelites are living in the land where the wicked are, Edom, where Edom is, okay? And so we have to give our fellow brothers, the Israelites, who are spoken of in Romans 9:4, who have promises on them, okay? So we want to go into that and be in remembrance of what the Lord is doing and be watching the signs of the times. And it says in the 9th verse, if great gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night they would destroy till they have enough. You see, so that's what these devils are doing. They become extremely rich, all right, through slavery, murder. You see these devils here in the USA. The Lord, He's holding this against them. Okay, for what their forefathers have done, the Lord said He hold that against them. 3 and 4 generations back, the Lord's holding against them. So we know what kind of wickedness has been done. 55 million Native Americans have been killed. Millions of Israelites were brought into slavery out of Egypt, and all the nations have profited from that, you see. So we know about that, how they have profited off slavery of the Israelites, the so-called African Americans. All right. So we know that we came here through slavery. We were beaten, we were hung, our kids were thrown to alligators. Some of our brethren have been thrown in acid. These devils have done extreme wickedly, cut babies out of women's stomachs, and all of that to so-called African Americans, hung them, feathered and tarred them, all kind of wickedness they have recorded in their books, in their universities and colleges, where they've recorded all the evil they've done. And the Lord, He sees all that and remembers all of that. Okay? And then it says in the 10th verse, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. You see, so the Lord said they're spoiled. They're full of pride. Okay, they can't even comprehend what the Lord is doing because they don't have faith. You see, this gospel is going out. It's being preached to them. All right, so they're aware of what's going on because they're hearing the gospel, but they're not hearing it in faith, and they're continuing in their ignorance and in sin, committing lying and stealing and committing murder, doing all the wickedness that the Lord told us not to do, you see. And some of the Israelites are caught up in that. 2/3 of you become more wicked than the devil, you see. So the Lord sees all of that. All right, and He's going to hold these devils responsible as well as the Israelites. And it says in the 11th verse, leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken. Art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So the Lord said, I'm going to punish you. You're not going to go unpunished. Okay. All right. Because the Lord, He sees all the evil happening. All right. And He's going to punish Edom. Okay. The so-called white man, USA and NATO and so forth, and all these other nations that are gathered together who are doing all this wickedness. Men sleeping with men, women sleeping with women, and all of that kind of evil. You see, and the Lord's remembering those things. And He sees it. It's being recorded. The angels are recording it. And it says, for I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wasters. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. You see. So the Lord sees all this evil that's going on in the world. He sees every bit of it. You see. And you're not getting away, USA and NATO and all you nations that have profited You made yourselves rich, sitting on trillions of dollars, you see, off the back of slavery. Spain and all these countries. Very, very evil, wicked devils. Okay, but you're going to pay for that. The Lord said, I'm going to remember all this wickedness that you've done. And it says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. So we know how they love to live up in the mountains. You know, if you go to Arizona, you'll see them up there on camelback. You see. In Georgia, they lived for years up there on Stone Mountain. You see, Ku Klux Klan and all of those devilish, wicked people. You see, because they love being up in the mountains. You see, and it says that holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. You see, and we see that happening where they're making their nest. They're going up into these different planets now and trying to set up base there. You see, so they're exploring on Mars and Moon and all these different places. You see, and sending satellites all up there, so just sitting up there in space and space stations and all of that, calling themselves setting up to hide from the Lord. But the Lord say, though you go up there, you set your nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. You see? So we see what's happening. We're seeing where the Lord is moving. We have the President Trump has put out these tariffs and so forth, and it's causing these nations, you see, they're losing money and because of these high tariffs to do business with the United States, because some of these nations depend on these imports and exports and so forth from the United States of America, you see. And President Trump has increased their tariffs and everything, and it's causing problems in these other countries. We've seen nations like France, Japan, Nepal, and even Indonesia, where they're having crisis over there, you know, economic crisis, you see, because of super inflation. All right, you see, due to these tariffs and so forth. And some of these nations, their governments are falling. You see, they're getting rid of some of their leaders, you see, and they're fighting and having civil wars and stuff. Governments are falling. So we're seeing all of that happening, and all that is prophesied. And it says in the 17th verse, also Edom shall be a desolation, and everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So the Lord's going to bring out these nuclear weapons. That's what we're coming into, World War III. You see, so we know that that's happening. We know that's on that's coming, because we've seen it in the prophecies, in Zephaniah and Zechariah, where the Lord said he would assemble the nations to pour out his wrath upon them. And it says that their faces were going to be as flames because of these nuclear weapon attacks on the fourth beast nation in Daniel's dream, you see. So we know what the Lord is doing, and we're just going into the scriptures and showing you what's happening. All right. And then it says, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. But I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me? And who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? So the Lord said, who can stand before me? You see? Because the Lord, he'll destroy. You see, bring destruction. So who can stand before the Lord, you see? No one can. No one can. All right. And then it says here in the 20th verse, Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom. You see. So who is Edom? We know who that is. That's the nation of Esau. All right, that red man that's calling himself a white man. You see, we can go back and look in Genesis, the 25th chapter and 23, and it'll tell you about who Esau is. Okay, so he's a red man, but they call themselves white because the devil's a liar. All right, and then it says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely, you see, this is the 20th verse, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Okay, who's the least of the flock? That's talking about the least of the flock of NATO. All right, it's talking about the Israelis that's sitting on our stolen lands. You see, not the Israelites, the Israelis, the 1948 Israelis is drawing them out because they're over there committing genocide. You see, we see all of this happening. See, all of this is in the prophecies. And this beast nation, fourth beast nation, the Roman Empire, the USA and NATO, and the Tenderhorn nations that are written about in Daniel the 7th chapter, those nations had the USA being the head of those nations are sending billions of dollars over there to commit genocide and take the land. Because this devil's eye is never full. He's sitting on trillions of dollars, trillions, but their eye is never full. Then they rather go over there and spend money and weapons and stuff and murder folks up than to take care of home. That's the work of the devil. See, and the Lord sees all of that, you see. So I'm going to read that again. It says, therefore, this is Jeremiah 49:20, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. So we're showing you here in the prophecy where the prophets prophesied this. Jeremiah, you see, where he said, surely the least of the flock should draw them out. See, so all these nations, all of these nations are doing wickedly. You see, all these nations are doing wickedly, and they're worth trillions of dollars. But the Israelites is worth about $500 billion economically, you see. And they are the least of the flock, because all the other NATO nations are worth trillions of dollars, you see. So that's what we see in this prophecy happening right before our face. And it says in the 21st verse, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as an eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. You see, so when those nuclear weapons hit, then Basra, you see, that's significant of a strong nation, you see. So it's talking about the USA. That's what it's talking about. All right, the fourth beast nation, Roman nation. All right. So we see all these things happening. It behooves us to live right and to live holy, because we see that Israel, the Israelis, are pulling United States of America into a war. You see, into World War III, and we know by prophecy that in World War III that's going to be the end of this, of the heavens, the first heavens and the first earth that was promised to Esau. All right, when Esau and Jacob were born, and their father Isaac gave him a blessing. Esau received the blessing of the sword. You see, And that's what he's done. He's used that sword, destroying nations, destroying people, taking lands, getting rich. You see, off of doing wickedly in the earth, because the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right. And who's that great nation? The United States of America. All right. But the Lord said, I'm going to bring you down. So the Lord's bringing you, he's reeling you in, you see, through the least of the flock. All right. So we want to give warning to the Israelites to get in the Lord. We're living in the last days. All right. These prophecies are happening so fast. You see, and then we're getting ready to come into Jacob's trouble. Then we're going to come into that chip they're going to put in your hand, in your head, trying to mix man with machine. You see, with AI and robotics and all of that, and put that quagmire in your body, see, so they can track you, take your money whenever they want to, control your body, and control all type of emotions and everything that you do. See, so they're trying to make you their chattel, and they're going to do that through some of these major companies like Apple. Tim Cook is the devil, okay, but he's working up under Satan. You see it, the left-hand side of the throne of the Lord. You see. All right, and then you have these devils sitting up there, these big major banking families. You see, making these decisions to make it hard for the people, and they're using Trump as a puppet to do it. You see, big major companies, the DuPonts and so forth. You see, all these major, big companies. You see, that have been super rich from years before Jeff Bezos and all of them. You see, all those big, major rich. You see, the people they talk about are not the ones that pulling the strings. They talk about Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all those guys. They worth billions, don't get me wrong, but they not the big boys. See, you have a group of guys who were rich way before them. You see, and they owned some of these. They previously owned some of these major big companies. You know, Procter and Gamble and all these major big companies, the DuPonts and so forth. You see, the Oppenheimers and all of those rich. You got a lot of these rich, super rich country people behind the scenes pulling the strings. You see. So the Lord say, I'm gonna bring you down, you and your puppets. Okay, the Illuminatis and all of that. The Lord's gonna bring you down. BlackRock, all of you major companies, Morgan and Stanley, and all of you guys. The Lord's had it with you. Okay, and you're living in the end of your kingdom. All right, and the Lord is using, like I just read here, the least of the flock to reel you in, and He's going to bring destruction to you. He's going to sweep you with fire, through nuclear weapons, the same nuclear weapons that you created to bomb countries like Japan. That's how you're going to be destroyed, because he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. All right. Now we're going to stop our lesson there. This is a lesson that the Lord put on our hearts to bring out, to prophesy concerning Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. All right. And all of you are going to pay for all the evil that you've done. The Lord says He's going to pay you double, every last one of you. You see, the Lord said He's going to bring you into captivity, every last one of you. None of you are going to escape that. All right. For what you've done to the Lord's daughter, the daughter of Zion, His wife, the Israelites, the so-called African Americans, Native Americans, and Latinos. So you've profited, you've murdered, you've lied, you've killed, you've stolen. Okay, and the Lord's going to bring a recompense on you devils for what you've done. All right. Your children are going to suffer for the evil that you've done. They're going to cry out aloud. All right. They're going to wail because of your evil, your forefathers' evil, so-called Christopher Columbus, Alexander the Great, and all those devils. Okay, you're going to pay for that. Now, we're going to stop our lesson here. Hopefully, this lesson was a lesson for the 144,000, hopefully, elect of Israel to stay holy. Also, the 1/3 Israelites to strengthen you when you're weak. Keep doing the will of the Lord, okay? Because we know that we're coming into perilous times. That's the Lord has already told us that in 2 Timothy, I think it is 3:1-7, that perilous times shall come. You see, he told us in 2 Ezra 15:16 that there will be seditions among men. Okay, and we're seeing all of those things happening, you see. And he also warned us in Acts 14:22. Let's read that and I'll close on out. Bear with me. This is Acts 14:22. I'm just going to read that and we'll close out from there. Acts 14:22 reads that confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Okay, so we're going to have some tribulation. That's going to happen. All right, we can't get around it. The Lord's purpose that's going to happen. But stay faithful to the Lord, Israelites. All right, some of you are going to be destroyed, following behind this devil and his government and doing all his laws of evil and wickedness. You see, you're the Lord's wife, and you're committing adultery and idolatry. All right, and the Lord's going to put you down as well. Okay, 2/3 of you who are Israelites. Now we're going to stop there. We're going to give all honor, all praise, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rikah Kodash. Live holy, Israel. Shalom and a Baba.